And we met them for the first time. We just sat down to talk, and they were telling us about how God called them to East Timor. And there was someone, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Tom G'day, who was over in East Timor. He'd been there, and he saw that the country was opening up. And he got together with Pastor Brad Carver, and he said, look, we need someone to go to East Timor. And they just made an announcement at the church. They said, who wants to go to East Timor? and anyway, so then Chris Smith's gone home, and Margie's in the bathroom, and he's gone and in there, and he said, look, I think we need to go to East Timor. And she just walked out. And she said, I just walked out. I didn't have anything to say. I didn't know what to say. Just walked out and left him there by himself. I came back in, and I said, okay, we're going to go. But the only reason is that I don't want to go, and I don't think that's a good enough reason. That's why we're going to go. And when I heard that story from her, I thought, I'm sitting next to a giant of faith. Like who? They didn't do deputation. They didn't go around. They didn't have a gathering support. They just went. And she went there, and then she had an Elijah moment as well. So she's in East Timor for 3 weeks, and she said to her husband, I can't do this. I can't live here. This is too much of a change. And she had the ticket to go back to Australia. She said, I'll come and visit you every now and then. But I'm going back to Australia. And she went down, before she left, she went down to the seaside there in Dili. And she just sat down, she's just thinking. And these 2 soldiers came up to her and they said, what are you doing here? I said, oh, that's an Elijah moment. What are you doing there? And what was the answer? She said, I'm a missionary's wife. And they went, oh, we're Christians. Where do you meet? Oh, over here, And then they came to the meeting that night. And so she turned to Chris and she said, I'm not going anywhere. And 24 years later, they're still serving the Lord there. And these people, they're going to die there. They're too sick to come back. They're old. And they're just going to keep on going until the Lord takes them home. And so, as a missionary and now as a pastor, I looked at their lives and I just thought, I just want to help you as much as I can. And I want to make sure that what you've done for 24 years doesn't just disappear and it's going to the oblivion when you die or when you leave there. And what I saw in East Timor when I went to visit them was something that's set up and ready to go. Things have been translated, the Bible's, the New Testament's been done, they're getting it printed, it's coming out, and they've got all this material, Bible Institute courses and things like that translated into Tetum. And they have men there that they've trained, discipled, especially Aldo, he'll probably be the grey-headed preacher in East Timor in the future. He's going to be the one that's going to be leading a lot of these young men. And we saw a group of young men that have been taught there and trained there. And I was just thinking, anyone that was to come into this ministry and to enter into this it will enter into a gold mine in God's economy. It's a gold mine. It's just sitting there waiting to go, and it would need one more missionary family to live there and die there for it to be able to really settle into East Timor. And so we went over there and just got a few photos. That's their church building in Dili. That was our group. We went on a trip up to the mountains to Fata Makerik, which is a 5-hour drive there, 5 hours back through the mountains. And it was really interesting because we're driving in this troopy and sitting in the back. We're all knee to knee on each other and not much padding and things like that. And we're going along these really not just dirt roads. These were mountain roads. They were just forward driving it. Okay, this is what we were doing. And we went up there and we get in the middle of this, like we're just in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden someone's phone rings. Oh, hi, blah, 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 blah. So, what? What's going on? There's a tower on every mountain and things like that. It was just weird to be in the middle of nowhere and then still have some modern technology appearing and things like that. So we travelled up there, and when I came back, I thought, I'm going to be dead after this 10 hours of travelling on this road. Woke up the next morning like $1 million. And I've got every little inconsistency in my back must have got shaken out. And I got up and I felt really, really good. So if you've got a bad back, maybe East Timor was the place for you. But this was the mountain tops here, and it's just volcanic land and just a small country, but a lot of people living up in the villages. And that's Father McCarrick. We preached there to that church. It's a church that they started many years ago. That's the group. And then we went to Satulam, which is one of their main ministries. It's got a better road to it, but still 2.5 hours there to get to that church. And we're blessed by seeing those people and seeing what the Lord was doing. And then we came back. On the Sunday, we were just there for a week. We went to the church in Dili, and that's the group that they've got there. And we just saw these people that love the Lord and just want to serve Him as much as they can. And so that's Chris and Margie there in the top. Aldo at the bottom with his wife and daughter. And the Filipino couple that's next to them, they've been with them for 15 years. They went over there to start a school, and they were on the same compound and lived there and helped them and served them. And wherever Chris goes, Noel goes. He just goes with him everywhere and helps him out, which has been a real blessing for them. And then the 3 guys in the bottom corner there, they're 3 of the 5 preacher boys that they've been training up and getting ready. And they have a real love for the Lord. And I'm not sure if many of you were keeping track of where the Pope was, but he arrived in East Timor the week after we were there. And they had 600,000 people in Dili, on the shores of Dili there, wanting to see the Pope. Well, while he was there, all these young guys went back up to the mountains because they didn't want to have anything to do with it. And they went up in the mountains and they said, we're going to reach out to the villages beyond us. And they went out there and 10 people got saved in that week that the Pope was there. And now they've got 4 churches to go to, 4 villages to minister to. So, the Lord's working, the Lord's using those young men. They just need that extra bit of help to be able to go on and to continue in the ministry and to make it, and to make sure that what has been put there will be maintained. Because what happens in East Timor is that someone goes there and builds, makes a company and does something, leaves it to the Timorese people, and it just falls apart because they don't know how to maintain those things and to keep it up and to run it. And that's what needs to be taught at the moment, so that the next mission that goes can work with these men and teach them how to maintain the ministry. And then when that's done, it can be left to them. But there needs to be one more part of it to go to continue on in the ministry. So that there is the compound that they have, and that's a school building up in the top corner there. That's full of classrooms. That's where they were having the school before it moved next door. The housing there, the Sunday school rooms, the Bible Institute rooms, the dormitories and things like that. It's all there. It's just sitting there, and it's being used for the Lord. But we're going to make sure that it doesn't just disappear and fall apart because the Smiths die or they haven't got anyone to carry on after them. So that's what we're praying for. We're praying for someone to go and to be there with them and to continue the work. And the Lord's working. We know that there's a family that's coming from America. We're just going to be praying for that it will be something that will happen. And these guys have given their lives for this work, and we just want to make sure that it remains. So that's the Smiths. I've set up a table up there. You can grab a prayer card for them, and just be in prayer for them. And we'd value your support also if you aren't already supporting them.